This is Nerds Who Get Laid.
Sometimes Quarantine Edition.
Nerds who get laid, who get laid. 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 Nerds who get laid, who get laid.
Welcome to Nerds Who Get Laid.
Sometimes.
Quarantine Edition.
We're back again.
We're back again.
Back again.
Back in the saddle again.
Guess who's back? This time we're joined by...
Christy.
Allison.
Ray.
Oh my goodness. And no,
We
Ray,
sounded like cheerleaders.
Oh my gosh, we would never be
Christy,
cheerleaders.
I was a cheerleader.
you know, sometimes
Well-
I wish that this podcast could be minus Ray, but it just doesn't happen because he happened to buy a shitty 94 Commodore PC that we record on.
Oh my god.
And he taps in everything in 01s and 0001s. So, guys, obviously, you probably a couple days ago listened to our more upbeat show about upbeat shows to watch.
Mhm.
This episode, we're gonna really fucking drain you. We're gonna take you down. We're
Downtown.
like, this is day 10.
Yeah.
And
Day
things are starting to get
24.
bad. So you're
Yeah.
probably wondering, like, how do I prepare better for this dystopian world I'm about to live in? So we got some shows that we're going to suggest to you. Some shows that you should watch because there's really good prep notes that you can find out and like ways to kind of, get the edge against your neighbor who has that piles and piles of toilet
I
paper.
was going to say, none of these shows hoard toilet paper, so please take note.
I've watched The Walking Dead, and almost every zombie has the cleanest asshole I've ever seen in my
Alright.
life. So that's all I got to say to you on that. I ordered a bidet.
He makes a good point. Did
Did
you
it?
really finally?
Has it come in the mail yet?
Waiting for it to show up. I'm going bidet.
Was
They
it a 3D
shipped it
printer
the
one?
next day.
Oh, shit.
From Squatty
Why am I
Potty.
WaddiePie.com was $23.
No
Easiest thing I've ever.
affiliation.
Yeah. We're not getting any kickbacks, but if you want to come poop in my house when it gets there, Ray, you're
I'm going to try it out.
Come try it out, man. We'll
Please
poop
come
together.
spray your
$23.
asshole
I
in
might
my
as well
house.
just get one.
It
God.
was so cheap.
That's how much cheap ones are.
You know what? It's because I started making posts about bidets as a joke, and then Facebook did an ad on me, and I was like, $23? I'm there.
Yeah.
I'm going to spray some water at my poop. Anyway, Chuck, what is your number one? That doesn't be your number one.
I didn't realize we were doing
All right,
dystopian
Christy.
Oh my
shows.
God.
I didn't
Well,
see that.
And I feel like there's some argument over post-apocalyptic versus dystopian. We're just kind of blending the categories.
Yeah, this is
Go
no,
where
We're
you want
just,
to.
it's a shitty sort of future scenario on this
Yeah.
planet or another.
Exactly.
Semantics.
Yeah.
Who?
Semantics are important to Ray.
They are.
My first
Thank you for knowing that about me.
important to me too. That's why we clash on
Ray
it.
cares about mantics, so that's when I hear some mantics.
Anyway, my first episode is The Society on Netflix.
Which was the Midnight one?
What?
The Midnight Society?
No, not Are You Afraid of the Dark? It's The Society. You would think that it would be kind of like a teen drama because it is centered around teens, but basically they go on like a school field trip, and they come back and their town is empty. No parents, nothing, no pets. They are the only people left in the town, and they have no idea where anyone went. One of the first things they try and do is leave to go get help, and they realize that they can't leave the town. So they know that something has changed. Either they're on a different planet, they're on a different plane of
Dimension or
existence.
something.
Yes. So they're trying to figure that out, but they quickly kind of form a society. They try and structure it, vote in who's going to run things, ration supplies. They have electricity. Again, they don't know how. Their cell phones only work within the town to each other. So they're trying to learn how to exist, but also how to get back to wherever they came from. But they've got some of those dynamics reminds me of The Walking Dead without zombies, because you've got some of those sociopathic characters that are probably going to murder somebody. So it's really interesting if you can look past the fact that it's teenagers, because it kind of deals with some of the adult dystopian themes. So I liked it. It's one season so
Good.
far.
Hopefully
Oh,
they never do
hush.
another season. Allison,
Yes.
what is yours?
Lost.
Yes.
So there's a lot of strong opinions on Lost.
Ray.
I am in the
Whoa.
yay category.
I do not.
Dude, stop fucking
Ray
lying.
watched the entire
I did,
series.
and that's why I hate
I
it
did
so
too.
much.
But you hate it because you did not like the ending.
He didn't get it.
Yeah, I don't need to hear all the reasons why you don't like it because I already know. But it's a great show. And there...
You'll have strong feelings when you finish it.
You know, it's not
either.
about the destination. Sometimes it's about the trip to
the
get
journey.
there.
Yeah. It is a really good show, and probably a lot of people have seen some of it, but they probably didn't stick through to finish it.
I tried to watch this show twice, and each time the person I was with just steamrolled right past where I was trying to
fucking
pause.
marathoned it.
So that is one of the things about Lost. Like, you have no choice but to binge it because every episode you're like, "What the fuck? I gotta know what's going on."
Yeah.
If you
So
miss
go to the
something,
next
you're
one.
screwed.
Yeah.
The first time we watched it, we were having to go rent one disc at a time from Blockbuster.
Oh, no.
So
Oh,
I would
wow.
watch them overnight and the
Timestamp.
next day go get two more because we had the upgraded account. We got two at a time. And then the second time when I finished it, I stayed up until all night. I finished the last episode at 7 a.m. And so I was very tired and I just thought my life was changed and I didn't know how to deal with all of my emotions from the last episode. And
it was rough.
Yeah.
I watched it on Netflix, and I think I caught up and was able to watch the final season as it was airing, which was pretty. I don't know. I think a lot of people watched it on TV as it was airing, but I was able to binge.
If you weren't around when this was coming out, this was like the Game of Thrones of the day.
It was.
And
It was
Ethan's
just fell off
out.
the table.
It was the game. It was the first
So like
It looks
Yeah.
like a
big
movie.
touching show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody would watch
every
it.
time Game of Thrones comes on Sunday night, or it come on Sunday night, Sunday night even, people are just talking about it and
Yeah.
oh my god, what is this?
And that was Lost.
Was absolutely that.
Yeah.
Every night after it came out, I don't remember what night it came on, but the next day, that's all anyone was talking about.
Did you watch it? No.
Anyway, that was a good one.
All right. Ray, what is yours?
Okay, so I have to preface my entire list.
Jesus Christ, just say the name.
Well, no, everything that I was going to put on my list, Allison was like, that was her list. So this is all the other stuff.
Okay, what's
So
your
this is
first
my-
Allison has
option?
the good list
Yeah.
and you have the bad
Yes.
list.
So my first option is Wayward Pines, which was Matt Dillon was in this, and also Toby Jones, who's that?
And it's Toby Keith.
Is this newer?
Yeah.
Probably
Came
the
out a
last
few
4
years
years,
ago.
maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, let me see. This is from it's only had 2 seasons so far, but it is from 2015.
Okay.
So it had 2015 and 2016 and it had
5 years.
episodes. It's just one of those shows where someone wakes up in this place and they're like, where am I? And then everything's weird and they're trying to leave and they can't leave.
It was
And,
really good.
there's a lot of wild twist in it where it's stuff that's so out of left field that it changes the entire dynamic of what the show is about.
Yeah.
Because I think it doesn't start off very sci-fi or post-apocalyptic or anything like that. That all comes in much later. So I thought the first season was pretty good. I think we watched the second season. I don't remember loving it as much as I did the first season. The first season was very, very good.
Way to sell it. All right. So my first choice that I'm going to give you guys is called Into the Badlands.
Okay, good. I'm glad you picked that one.
That touches on so many spectrums. Dystopian and post-apocalyptic.
And
choice.
Kung Fu.
Samurai.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I was
Son
more sucked into it because of I had a man crush
Yes, on the Baron.
on the Baron. He just had this level of attractiveness. I don't know.
it was that southern drawl.
I got a type,
It was that drawl.
and he's my type.
Yeah.
If I'm gonna switch guys, he's the one that would switch me. But he was just such a good villain, and the hero was honestly, he's one of those very quiet heroes. So like you're kind of curious of wanting to know more about him, which keeps you coming back. And then to me the biggest thing was the action. It was a great action show.
Great choreography.
So
Choreography.
yeah, choreography is a word I don't know.
Drunk for some reason off 4 beers.
But really great fighting, kung fu. It's so in the world, this post-apocalyptic world, pretty much everything is ran by, for lack of a better word, like ninjas. Like these guys all
It
carry
sounds
swords.
awful.
It's
in like a
show.
reality
The
scenario.
choppers is what they're
It's-
called.
Girls
Choppers.
will hate this show.
And the different regions are ran by like the barons or governors. They
You have
kinda,
one for bullets,
yeah.
oil or gas, and then
They pretty much control like the main elements that these people need. And then you meet Sonny, who is one of the choppers. I'm using air quotes there, but he's like pretty much the main assassin for the villain. And a lot of stuff goes on. There's been a few seasons. They're all good. It's a great action show.
Yes.
Yeah.
There's not a whole lot of depth. I mean, there is definitely like layers.
They've built quite an interesting world.
Yeah.
In it. I'll definitely say that. I love that about it because it is. It's not like a lot of anything. It's like a lot of pieces of things that I've seen before, but it's not like anything I've seen before.
The best I can really, if you want a comparison, it's like an anime come to life because it's that
very
level
much so.
of a show. There's not a lot of American-based television that I could really compare it to. So I highly suggest Into the Badlands.
Yeah. Going off of this, I'm gonna go Westworld.
Oh, that's on my
that's
list.
a good one.
I was
I
like,
didn't see anybody's list. So I
hoping
was like,
someone would
I just looked through a thing real quick, and I was like, okay, it's the only thing I can think of. But season 3 so far for on HBO. The first season, from what I saw, was amazing.
Wait, is season 3 out now?
It's streaming. Yeah, it starts streaming now. Never got to season 2, unfortunately, because I fell off. But for the sake of Dystopian,
That's a good choice.
yeah, I'm trying to the best way to describe it. Right, you're going to tell me out because it's been a while since I've seen it. People go into this fantasy world that's a Western setup, and they can live out
their fantasy.
Yeah, it's
pretty much
almost like
Disney
it's like-
World. It's like a theme park
Yeah.
with the animatronics. I can't even remember the term they use for them.
They don't say
Host.
The host, and you can interact with them almost like an actual person, and the hosts are starting to retain some of their memories from the times they've been reset.
Yeah.
And everything's not right in the world of the entertainment aspect of it.
Yeah. And it's an HBO show, so it is beautifully and masterfully done, and the acting is like
You have the 2 timelines.
Evan Rachel Wood.
Yeah.
yeah.
The what's his name?
Scott Marsden.
Cyclops.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
James
Cyclops.
Marsden, I believe.
Yeah. He's not a great actor, and he's not incredible in this, but he's
Ed
like
Harris.
good enough. Ed Harris is so good.
Man in Black.
this. Yeah, and then
Anthony Hopkins
was also in it, and he's it's Anthony Hopkins. So you have Ed Harris and Anthony Hopkins in anything, and it's going to be probably pretty good.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm going to go with because that's one thing I think.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's a great one.
That's why I said it. I have great lists.
Christy.
I'm gonna go out of order because mine's on a similar vein as yours. Is Dollhouse?
Oh yeah.
Elijah Dushku. Ooh.
Yeah, created by Joss Whedon. It was only like 1 or 2 seasons.
Yeah.
I think
it was the thing. I think it was the thing he did directly after Buffy, if I'm not mistaken.
it was around.
It was 2009,
2009,
and it is 2 seasons. Yeah.
I think a lot of people overlooked it. Like Nathan watched it a couple years ago, but it's basically kind of futuristic. Your main character is Eliza Dushku, and you come to realize that she's a doll in this dollhouse, which are set up around the world. But they're people who have signed up for servitude, had their memories wiped, and people rent the bodies essentially, and they download the personality and knowledge, everything that this person needs, so that they can become like a weird sexual fantasy for someone, or they can be a hitman for someone else. You can do whatever you want with them within limits. But the idea is then they come back, their memories are wiped, and they're just an empty shell.
Yeah.
Of course, they start to retain some of, little flashes of who they were and who they've played. So it's a really interesting show.
Yeah, and I actually said Buffy, but this was the show he did after Firefly.
Oh, yeah.
And then it also got canceled. It was the next one in the line of Joss Whedon's epic shows that got canceled.
But
Dude's overrated.
It was really good. No, you liked it.
This is a very underrated show. Like not a ton of people watch
see it continue to go on.
Oh, absolutely. And this one was 2009, 2010, so it's still like, this is a decade old.
I was watching it on Hulu episode by episode.
Oh, wow.
So I can place that at 2009. Yeah.
Allison.
My show is Jericho.
What's that?
So this was a show. It came out in 2008, and it stars Skeet Ulrich.
Oh my
Scream!
God! Who and Riverdale.
Yeah.
But it's about this like small town in Kansas called Jericho.
Okay.
A like mushroom cloud
It's just seen in the distance.
appears, and then like everything changes.
They're just cut off from society all of a sudden. And it's just this small town, has no idea what's happened.
Yeah,
I think they see several of them.
Maybe,
and they find out that possibly all major cities in the U.S. They don't know. Like a bunch of cities in the U.S. have been hit by nuclear explosions. They don't know what's happened. They don't know who did it.
Yeah.
They don't know
like
anything.
nuclear clouds like off in the distance. It's
Yeah,
not
like
over
they can
them.
see them.
No.
Okay.
And it's them just
It's very flat in
dealing.
Kansas.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just them in a small town trying to figure out what the hell do we do now.
Yeah.
Because they don't have power. They don't have they don't have any of the stuff they normally would have.
Yeah.
And they don't even know who to go to or like where to go. Because I mean, if there's nukes going off, you can't just drive into them.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And they do discover that there are other people still alive, and that's interesting. And there's another town in question, and
of course
the guy that plays Major Dad, who also plays Hearst in what is that show that we love?
Deadwood.
His name is Gerald McRaney. He's in the show, and he's very good.
And he's a
mayor.
dickhead in it, and but no, he's not in this, is he? Is he?
He's the mayor.
Is he a dickhead in this though? He's not. In this. But he's that same character that could be a dickhead, but he's like a good mayor. This show came out in 2006, and it got 2 seasons, but it got canceled.
Yeah.
Season 1 got canceled.
It was rough being a TV show in the late
early 2000,
the aughts.
So, late aughts. Yeah.
This show runs into one of those issues I always have where everything looks too clean. You're in a post-apocalyptic because like they're still so Hollywood. Because I remember when this show was coming on, I see the commercials and stuff. It's like the world's ending, and all these guys still look amazing.
It's like right after the world ends.
Yeah.
And it does get in, like things get into more disarray the further it goes on. But this got 1 season and then it got canceled. And fans wrote letters in and they got it brought back on the air. So it got its 2nd season and then it got canceled again. Yeah. The ratings just weren't there. And the story did finally get finished in comic book series and such. But I mean, I read a lot of comics and I haven't read it. So, but the TV show, excellent show.
All right, Ray, what's your next show?
Oh, okay. So my next show is a show called Defiance. I really enjoy sort of bad sci-fi stuff. This is a sci-fi TV show. And it's
Sci-Fi Channel?
Sci-Fi Channel TV show. Sorry about that. Yes.
Not to be confused with sci-fi.
No, they've actually been cranking out good stuff.
Okay, so this is from 2013. And it ran from 2013 to 2015. And this was kind of in the middle when their stuff was getting better, but still wasn't great. So this isn't one of those that you can like look at and be like, oh, that's a quote-unquote sci-fi show. I know that. That's from Sci-Fi TV show. Basically, this is in the future a little bit. The world's kind of been roughed up a little bit. Aliens are on Earth now. They just kind of live there. This is in it's in St. Louis, but the show is actually the city is actually called Defiance. So like I said, it's kind of one of those like
I remember this show from watching the show Face Off because they did makeup for that show.
Yeah. So there's different alien races on Earth, and they're almost like different political parties, and there's all this like these new rules and everything like that. So it's one of those that and then there's a mystery, of course, and there's like these cops and stuff like that. But it's one of those that I just dig that kind of cheesy sci-fi stuff. And this is post-apocalyptic. It's based in the year 2046, so it's like a little bit, but not too far.
Not that far away.
Yeah. Which I always think is really, really fun. But it got 3 seasons, and I haven't seen the 3rd season yet because I was watching it again when it was coming out. I didn't watch it when season 1 was coming out. I watched through season 1 and then watched season 2 after it came out, and then season 3 was coming out, and I just never went back to it. But it's something now I probably need to go back and watch season 3 on it though. So if you like kind of cheesy sci-fi stuff, this would be your thing.
You don't have one, Nathan?
You stole my next one with Westworld. So.
I don't know if I have another one.
Skip Nathan.
All right, Christy.
Okay. My next one is V Wars on Netflix. It's a newer show. I know y'all are all gonna make fun of me
Because it's a vampire show.
Yeah, and I mean, like, I'm not gonna pretend it's not a little like over the top. It's not
It's
like
a teen vampire show, isn't it? Or
it's
is
not.
It not?
So
Okay.
the main actor was on Vampire Diaries, which is absolutely a teen show. Now
Okay. That's what I'm thinking.
Now
of.
he's playing a doctor who's like trying to warn people about our melting polar ice caps because we don't know like what diseases and viruses have been trapped in the ice caps for millions of years. And sure enough, like one of his crew like unleashes this virus that activates a vampire gene in like 50% of humans. So you immediately have like the government trying to quarantine these vampires. The ones who aren't quarantined are like trying to rebel because they want to be recognized as humans. They don't want to just be killed off. The doctor's just trying to get anyone to listen to him while he makes like a cure. All this stuff, but they're vampires. They have a lust for blood and all of that, but they're like messy and there's nothing romantic or sparkly about it. So it's a pretty good show. It's just got 1 season so far.
All right.
Allison.
Battlestar Galactica.
Ooh. How did Ray let you take this one?
Well, she just gave
He's just going to steamroll through it anyway.
I am. Go for it.
This is a great show.
3, 2, 1. I was waiting for the steamroll.
Oh, it's coming.
That's what she
For a
said.
little bit.
Ray, you don't even like Battlestar Galactica,
That's
do you?
Nathan. That's your husband.
No.
No, he grabbed
I'm
the microphone.
pretty sure you don't like it.
I do like
No.
Battlestar Galactica.
It's his favorite
Ray
show.
pretends to like it, yet he never speaks about it.
It's definitely in the
It's
top.
like a Star Trek shoot-off, right?
No.
It's very similar. It's definitely in the top 3
Well,
shows
there's that
for me
part
of all
where
time.
Want to be Star Trek.
Gandaldor
Gandaldor.
Gandaldor comes
It's
in.
the
Gandalf.
keep calm and prosper, right?
Yeah.
One time Ray called Voldemort Boulder Dash.
DoorDash?
The best thing
That was not
that
around
ever
at the
happened to Battlestar Galactica is it was canceled.
Oh, you're
It
so
wasn't
mean.
canceled.
it was completed.
Yeah.
Our friend
AKA
Edward James
canceled.
Olmos would,
Uncle
Wouldn't
Eddie?
do the show
yeah,
again.
would kill you for that.
We had
I
lunch
know.
together. We're
We
good.
had dinner with Uncle
Grilled
Eddie.
cheese.
Tell us about
How
Battlestar
big of a fan are
Galactica.
you of Battlestar, Ray? Did you ever have dinner with
Did Edward James Olmos take a bite out of your son's grilled cheese?
He did not.
He didn't have
did
a
not.
son
He
at the
did take a
time.
bite
Did
out
he
of
give
ours.
you
He didn't have a son at the time.
Did he like personally tell you like here goes your signed autographed picture because you're that cool? Because that's what he told me when I walked up to say hi.
You
Did that
thought you were a
happen to you
fan.
as a fan of Battlestar Galactica?
We're done.
Okay, so anyway, it's just a great show. If you like space shows, you'll like it. But also, if you don't,
If you like space,
Do you like
planets,
Do you like space? I know I do.
Do you like giant
I
bounds
feel
of
like Charles
blackness?
is fake
$49.95.
laughing. Charles is fake laughing right now. It's
Charles
annoying
is doing
me.
that white girl laugh when she wants everyone in the class to give her attention.
Correct.
Oh, that made him mad.
I'm just gonna ignore it, but It's a great show, so watch it.
Battlestar Galactica is...
Here it goes.
Yeah, you totally ruined that. So Battlestar Galactica is one of those shows that, like, if you don't like sci-fi, you
still
will
like
still
it.
like
Okay,
this.
but like I like sci-fi and I couldn't get through like one episode.
Then you're wrong. This is absolutely the
Snorefest.
the best absolutely the best sci-fi show I have ever seen in my entire life, and the only thing that
You
I've
should
ever
watch more
watched
sci-fi.
that that even gets close is Deadwood. I think that show is incredible.
That's not
Edward
a
James
sci-fi
Olmos
show.
is amazing in it. Mary
Yeah.
McDonnell is incredible in it. James Callis is very good. Trisha Helfer is really good in it. There's Katie Sackhoff is incredible.
like
That's
she's
why
a
he loves it. It's Katie
bitch.
Sackhoff.
Yeah, Katie Sackhoff.
He loves Katie Sackhoff.
I love Katie Sackhoff
Yeah.
because of this. If you don't like sci-fi, this is a show you will still like, because that's just the basis for what the story is. It's a very character-driven story.
yeah.
It definitely has four seasons. They're very long episodes. They're 44-minute
Extremely
episodes.
long.
This is
It was pretty good. I
This
should have
is-
stuck
It's
it
slow.
out.
I mean, it's a
It
slow
is slow.
show.
It's a slow
Yeah.
burn. If you
Yeah.
don't like slow burns and you're like, if you don't like intelligent slow burns, you're not going to like this at all.
Wow.
I've got to be in the mood for it.
Slow burn.
If you're having
Nathan
If you
likes
have trouble
stupid,
sleeping,
Yeah.
short
this will
Like
put
if
you
you
to
like
sleep.
really good things like beautiful cinematography and stuff like that,
Then
if
don't
you like
watch
things
this show, 'cause that's not
There
in
Will
there.
Be Blood and stuff like that, then you would enjoy this show. But if you don't
How are
like
you-
that,
A Western to a sci-fi? That makes no
It's
sense.
because
It's
that's
because of
Nathan's
the-
favorite movie.
Well, yeah.
It's
you-
Charles.
How
You're
many years
reaching.
have you podcasted?
You're reaching.
no, it's
if you're a Mormon,
characters,
you'll really love it, because the show is based all off of Mormonism.
if the characters are incredible, the acting is incredible, the storyline is incredible.
It's cheesy.
It's about
he
the
can't
best show.
say that. He hasn't watched
He's
it.
never watched
I
any
watched
of it.
6 episodes.
That's
of
not enough.
That's more than I've watched.
That's not enough. This is the most bingeable show I have ever watched in my entire life. This beats Lost by miles.
Yeah, it does.
This
it
beat
really
The
does.
Office.
Yes.
And
He's
Allison,
so
you're not a big
wrong.
sci-fi person.
I'm
It's
not
a
a big
completely
sci-fi
different
person.
thing.
It really
But
is such a
when's
good
the last
show.
time you watched
I
this
can
show?
get into sci-fi
I've
when I
watched
need
this show
to.
like 5 or 6 times.
When's the last time?
Probably
you watched
5
it?
years ago.
Yeah, it has.
Wow.
Yeah, because I know you've watched The Office a few times since then, and yet he
Alright.
I
claims
don't know
that
if I have.
Battlestar.
No, here's the thing. The Office you just watch because it just comes back on again. Battlestar.
No, I have to watch it.
No. Battlestar, it's one of those, like,
He's
I
reaching.
have to watch another show.
I know.
I have to get up at 7 a.m., but it's 4 o'clock in the morning. I could get one more episode in.
No, I'm just going to bed.
No.
What's
it's
your
that
favorite
kinda
thing
show.
about the Cyclones?
Oh, God.
I even know this.
Nathan's being so rude.
No, he's not.
This is absolutely the best show on this entire list.
What?
By
Dude,
miles.
you know,
That's
welcome.
a bold claim.
You know, the funny
Yes.
thing is when I was having dinner with Edward James almost, and we were
Oh my
talking
God,
about
we get
Did he
it.
tell you how bad he hated the
Next.
show?
He only had dinner, y'all. He has probably not told this story
No,
on the
I've
podcast.
told the story
I
about
didn't
the
have
food.
dinner with
He
Edward James
had
Olmos.
a dinner with Edward James Olmos, thanks to me, and then he
Yeah, it
spent
was.
the
I
the
know
whole
it was
time in the
thanks to you.
bathroom because his stomach was upset, and I had to explain. Edward
I did
James
have the
Olmos
poops.
is like, "Oh, is he okay? Do you need to check on him?" I said, "No, he's just got sensitive stomach." He's like, "Oh, I understand."
Yeah,
You spent more
I
time
have
with him
that
than
too
anyone else.
sometimes.
Uncle Eddie
Having
has
to explain
that's
to
why you're
EJ why your husband's shitting in the bathroom instead of hanging out with
For
him.
hours.
Well, when you
I had
have
to
to
poop.
shit, you have to shit.
I know.
What am I supposed to do? Be like, hey, Uncle Eddie.
So really,
come poop with me.
I spent way more time with
But anyway,
Edward James Olmos.
with that being said, he never once mentioned that show, because that was
Exactly.
definitely not. He more talked about his
'Cause we
animated
hadn't
voice
watched-
work.
Yeah, he was very proud of that.
All right, so I'm going to take us to the next show. A show that's actually enjoyable and rewatchable.
We'll see.
A show that people like. My son's making me laugh over here because he's thinking I'm the funniest guy in the room.
He's
Well.
laughing at what a dork you are.
The show I'm going to choose is Adventure Time.
Oh, because
Oh.
I suggested it to you.
Oh, just get off your own dick over there. So
I'm about to delete this whole motherfucking podcast.
Somebody's sensitive as fuck.
He's so mad.
250 episodes.
most people don't know, but Finn and Jake live in a post-apocalyptic world called the Land of O, which had a chasmalistically terrible
What?
nuclear war thousands of years before the show ever happened.
Chasmalistically?
Cataclysmically.
Yes, that's the way to properly pronounce it.
Magenta.
But with that all being said, like the show doesn't really harp on the fact that it's the world was destroyed years ago. It's
I
a
never
very
realized that.
fun and very upbeat show. It's a show that with you guys and all your downer shows with vampire viruses and cyclones that are in monster trucks driving around, whatever Battlestar has to do. You could be watching Adventure Time and just having an adventure
it is a cute
of a
show,
time.
and if you're stuck at home with your kids, it's probably great for kids. 15-minute episodes.
Yeah, they're quick and
So
with that
tell them
being
they
said,
can watch one episode and go to bed.
that show definitely stomps Battlestar Galactica. Next show, Charles or Christy?
I don't have one.
All right.
Christy.
So this is my last one. I have Fringe.
Ooh,
Yeah, I saw this on the list finally. I'm
Yeah,
like,
so it was a J.J. Abrams show.
Yes, it
In
was.
like 2012. Joshua Jackson was on it, looking nice as ever.
May.
But it centers around an FBI agents, and they kind of get thrown into like an X-Files scenario with like weird cases, fringe cases as they call them. And they're trying to figure out like what the fuck, where is this coming from? Instead of aliens, it's more
experiments. And it's
experiments, things like that. But
twist. It's the dad.
yeah, I mean, like if you like things like the X-Files, you'd probably love it. It's a more modern version, but kind of gets into like alternate dimension sort of stuff.
I know
It's good.
Leonard Nimoy was in the first season. He was one of the founders of the company with Joshua Jackson's dad, who was Walter
Josh Jackson
responsible for
is
most of
very
these stuff.
grumpy, and his dad had done like tons of like human experiments back in like the 70s. So they're trying, but now he's like kind of cuckoo. So they're trying to like get him to help them solve all these cases.
Trying to piece the puzzles
but
together.
he's very like heartwarming.
Yeah.
Adds a nice element to the show.
and the show has 5 seasons. I know a lot of people don't like the later seasons of it, but I think we only watched like 2, maybe 2 seasons.
Yeah,
Something
we liked
happened.
it. It was just very long.
It was very long, and something else came out that was like way more important for us to watch.
Lost?
Yeah.
Oh no, I'm sorry. We for a little while didn't have internet,
Maybe that was it.
and so we just watched
We were very poor.
DVDs or something. Yeah, yeah.
But no, if you haven't finished it, I highly suggest going back and watch
The
Fringe.
problem is, I think we would have to start from the beginning because I don't remember enough.
I'll let
Yeah,
you
we
run
would
the sets.
absolutely.
I have them all.
I
think
don't
it's on
want to watch
Netflix.
DVDs.
No.
I'm never going to watch a DVD. I'm just not.
I know
to
it
be
doesn't
honest.
sound like dystopian or post-apocalyptic, but it kind of gets
No, it
there
does.
once you get, especially to like the alternate
Yeah,
like
that's where it really
dimension
steps in.
sort of thing is where
And the
that
timeline.
kind of comes into is where that stuff kind of comes into play.
Listen.
My last one is Last Man on Earth. This is a great show. It came out a couple of years ago. The premise is that Will Forte believes he is the last man on Earth. Something has happened to the Earth, and he's the only one left. So he like kind of goes on this tour of America, picks up a lot of cool shit like the Declaration of Independence and stuff like that. And he just like puts it in a gigantic RV and drives to where does he go? Don't remember.
Tulsa?
no,
You
no,
sound like you're saying
It's not
Tulsa.
Tulsa.
And it's not Toledo.
Tuscaloosa?
Tacoma.
That's a truck.
He goes somewhere in like New Mexico or
Yeah.
something. Anyway, where he's from. And it's just like him navigating what he thinks is the end of the world and the end of society. And
So-
then he finds he comes upon
Before
other
this,
people.
he's doing like ridiculous stuff. Like he has a huge kiddie pool, and he's just pouring tequila and making margaritas, and like sitting in the pool, just drinking the margaritas out of the pool.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
he'll like bowl with a car. He'll like push a car down a hill and have all
yeah.
this, just ridiculous, dumb stuff like that. But it's Will Forte.
It's kind of like what a 11-year-old would want to do
Yeah.
if they were like left alone to their own devices.
You need to stop lying. That's what any dude.
So is
Yeah,
this
dude.
the comic you were talking about that finally got the show?
The comic that
Yeah,
finally
where
got
they
the
got
show.
Why the Last Man? Is this like
No,
that?
this is
It's
a
not the
completely
same
different
thing.
thing.
Oh, it's not because it sounds a lot like it.
It's not.
No, it's
But
not
this is
anything
a
at all.
really fun show. And like, again, like
first
he comes
was The Last
across
Man.
other people and they kind of survive as a team.
Christy hates the main character actor of that
Will
What?
Forte.
show.
Yeah.
She
Oh,
hates
we
it.
But I
love Will
hate
Forte.
the main lady.
I actually.
January Jones.
Is that her name?
No.
Oh, you're talking about the other main lady.
Yeah.
With
Oh.
the
The one he
voice.
first meets that
Like
won't
the
have
Bob's
sex till they're
Burger
married.
lady.
Yeah, Kristen Shaw.
Because I thought the
Yeah.
show was
Yeah,
extremely
I hate
funny. It's a
her.
very funny premise.
You know what? I didn't love her,
But we liked
I
her a lot
became loving.
on Flight of the Conchords.
Yeah.
'Cause she was Mel on Flight of the Conchords.
Yeah, I think I hated her there too.
Well, she's very
Kristen
cringy.
Skull.
Yeah.
She's very cringy, but also like Will Forte is incredibly awkward and cringy in this as well.
That's
So-
kind of his
It's his
stick.
deal. He's very
Yeah.
good at it. He also, like, at some point has a name change, and it's very funny.
Because there's another person by his name and they make him not go by his name and everyone like just hates him, but he's really stupid and horrible, but he's also very sweet.
lovable.
He's
Yeah.
yeah. Like a much more cringy, like, well, I was gonna say Michael Scott, but that's pushing it pretty far. But yeah, it's a fun show. It's a 22-minute show as well.
Mhm.
There's 67 episodes of it, so there's
Wow.
only 4 seasons. So it's very easy to watch through, and it's just
Yes.
ridiculous.
Yeah.
All right. Well, my last episode or show that I want to talk about is called Revolution. This was
Revolution, baby.
This was a show that got 2 seasons. All of a sudden, all electricity in the entire world stops
Oh,
working.
I remember this show sounded so boring.
It was
this show's-
good.
Was it on the CW?
It 100%
It looked like a
was
CW show.
I don't think so.
And
I-
I think that's
I think it was a CW show.
I think it was an NBC show. But
It looked like a-
it only got 2 seasons,
Yeah.
and it never got an ending. And we loved this show so much. We were so into this show because it was very interesting.
What was the name of the show again?
Revolution.
it has a power button for the O.
It was on
doesn't it?
NBC.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was canceled by NBC.
Yeah, but so all of the United States is just kind of doing their own thing and everything.
Yeah.
No one has power. No one knows why no one has power. And it just gets really, really, really interesting.
Yeah, I really like shows and books and movies that kind of like either give an alternate history or like some sort of weird could be real future.
Yeah.
Where the United States like has divided into different countries or
Yeah.
different like
Yeah, because
nations or something, and this kind of had that element to it.
there were parts of this that Into the Badland reminded me of, because there are like the divides between the country that's been taken over by these
I feel
people.
like there
and
was like
stuff
a
that.
new capital,
Yeah,
and it was in Atlanta.
maybe.
But it was just, there was something weird like that. It was really interesting though.
Yeah.
No, it was an absolutely great show, and it's just a bummer because it's hard to absolutely recommend it to people because
Yeah.
I know it, like My Name is Earl. It's like there's no ending.
Yeah.
You don't get a satisfying ending in the end. And this one is one where you have like a lot of questions. You're like, what was all this? You were going somewhere, and I got nothing. But for the amount that they went, it was a really good ride, and for it to be a show that was on NBC, the quality's pretty good. The acting's pretty decent. I mean, there's some people, on all of these shows, there's always someone that's like, you could be better, but yeah, we were completely engrossed in this when it was coming out.
Yeah,
I'll take it home.
take it
And
home.
I'm going to give you guys the best suggestion of the night. A show that, while it started with some very sadness of a nuclear bomb, so much fun happened afterwards.
Oh my God.
SpongeBob SquarePants. Man, why are you guys looking
Charles
so...
has left the chat.
Continue on.
So the whole idea of SpongeBob SquarePants was that Bikini Bottom came from nuclear explosions happening, and that's why we get all these
talking sponges.
talking sponges and fishes and all that stuff. So therefore, it kind of is dystopian, but they took it.
Well, it's post-apocalyptic.
And they made it a positive. It doesn't always have to be bad. When the world's ending, you could turn around and have some fun. You could come up with a secret formula.
Live in a pineapple under the sea.
Yeah, you could make up some really delicious burgers and get people to come get you. So, with that being said, on all these negative, boring stuff like Battlestar Galactica, you could be watching SpongeBob SquarePants and living the best life. What's
Thank
that, Ray?
you.
I've never been more angry.
Ray has never wanted to kill himself more.
You have to suck on your anger because I think Nathan's right.
I am right, because best show of all time. That show's been going on. I don't know if it's the best show of all time,
Nate.
but that show's been
It's
going
trying
around
to
for
rival
a
The
long
Simpsons.
Shame. It's been canceled or not canceled,
I think
but
it
it's
was
been over for a
canceled.
while.
And
No,
I think it's been brought back.
it's definitely not canceled because they have a new movie coming out.
Yeah, I don't think
It
it's
has staying power, unlike another mention.
You know the crazy thing about SpongeBob and
What is it? Tell me.
was like how popular it was.
Yeah, it was past my
It
time.
does have 12 seasons. God,
Yeah.
13 seasons.
I did
Or
not
Battlestar.
realize, because I remember my senior year of high school, I was like, I'll be funny. I'm gonna get a SpongeBob backpack because this show came out in 1999, right? So this is probably 3 years later, and I wore it, and so many kids were like SpongeBob. They were still into it, and now the meme power that SpongeBob is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
SpongeBob is now known
Because
for
we all
more memes than anything.
Ray's 100, but
Yes.
most of us grew up on SpongeBob because in
I didn't.
1999 I was 9.
I
So
was
I watched
18.
SpongeBob, and then my little brother watched SpongeBob, and now my son watches SpongeBob.
And just so you guys know,
You
the
watch
newest
SpongeBob, Allison?
No.
well, Allison's too cultured for SpongeBob or The Simpsons.
That's true.
There's
She
a new
clearly
season
doesn't
going on right
like
now of
cartoons.
SpongeBob.
Thank
There's a
you.
what?
There's a new season of SpongeBob going on
Yeah, I
right
just
now.
saw
Hey,
that. Yeah.
when's the new season of Battlestar coming out, Nathan?
I thought that I thought
Oh,
there was because it's a Nickelodeon show.
yeah.
yes.
I thought there was a thing with Nickelodeon where they would only do 4 or 5
That was
seasons of a show.
Disney.
Yeah, that was Nickelodeon.
No, it
That's
wasn't.
Netflix.
That was Nickelodeon.
Not anymore.
Nickelodeon
Okay.
back in the day would only do a few
Oh.
seasons.
Nickelodeon's
No.
always had
Dude,
multiple
now
That's
shake
not
her
true.
head. She's like, no husband.
Maybe of live action,
You're
but
thinking
not
of the
cartoons.
Disney Channel.
Y'all are
You're
Well, how
thinking
many
of the
episodes
Disney
did all that
Channel.
have?
Basically, once they become 18, they're like, "See you later.
Nobody
Go start a
cancels
music
a show
career."
when it's amazing.
How many seasons did all that have, Ray? Because that's live action.
All that.
That
He's
was
thinking
different.
of the Disney Channel.
I'm not.
So, guys,
I'm 100% not.
To bring it all home,
Ray's
although
wrong.
I'm correct on everything and Ray's wrong, these are some good suggestions to give yourself some good ideas. If be it vampires come back, or all of a
Why
sudden
do you be like that?
we drop nuclear bombs. Or if we decide to go into space and there's a bunch of robots that come here to destroy us.
Yes.
Wow. 11 plus seasons.
What 11 plus seasons there, Chuck?
Ray says they don't do stuff long on Nickelodeon. All that's 11 plus seasons.
Well,
I
because
think it
Ray
was
was
cartoons.
wrong. Ray was making up facts again.
It's because he's thinking of the Disney.
No, I don't
Thank you for
care about
repeating the
Disney
exact
Channel.
same line over and
never
over.
saw
I'm sorry to
anything
cut your
about the Disney
outro, Nathan,
Channel.
but he's getting pissed.
Well, because y'all are 100% wrong.
Who watched more Nickelodeon and Disney than Ray?
Everyone, because he didn't, have cable.
The 3 women on this side of the table did.
Oh, Chuck,
Like,
honorary
I love
woman.
you, but
A cup, I'll
your
take it.
tastes in pop culture are more female than male.
Ray is typing so hard on his laptop trying to find. He's trying
He's
to
writing on his blog
He's so pissed.
things that Nathan did to piss me off today.
I
He's
swear Battlestar's the best ever.
he's trying to
No
get some
believes me.
receipts, and he is coming up fucking empty. So,
Watch all this get edited out.
so with that being said, guys, join us on our next episode where we dive even deeper into the quarantine and we look at more things that we can suggest for you. Maybe we'll go to some fun movies. Maybe after having these depressing shows, let's talk about some upbeat movies that Ray probably has never seen because he has just.
No, I'm still going to be fucking Googling
It's just
this
going to be all
Nickelodeon
Wes
thing.
Anderson movies.
Oh my God, you're so right.
I know that's
Ray just
fucking
loves
depressing.
slow motion shit with music
God,
played
so
over
do
it.
I.
I know you're made for each other.
They're
It's
like
so
Fantastic
gross.
Thank you
Mr.
so
Fox
much.
and
Because
Isle of
we
Dogs.
hate SpongeBob just as much as
And
we love Wes Anderson.
They take, they take eye candy for being substance of good show.
Yeah.
Anyway, Check us out on our next episode.
Because I'm still Googling.
You're still. Come back to our next episode where Ray finally gets to the bottom of his wrong theory. This has been Nerds Who Get Laid Sometimes.
Wow.
Nerds Who Get Laid Sometimes is recorded at the illustrious Big Brown Record Town Studios in beautiful downtown Lake City. Episodes are published each Monday on iTunes, Stitcher, Podbean, and Google Play. You can like us on Facebook at facebook.com/Nerds Who Get Laid. We're at Nerds Who Get Laid on Twitter and Instagram. We're part of the Geeks World Wide podcast network. You can find reviews and articles we write at thegww.com. We're also part of the Modest Pod podcast network. We're on FloridaGeekscene.com and also WeBeGeeksPC.com. Please subscribe, rate, and review us on iTunes, Stitcher Radio, and Podbean. You can also check out the show notes for links about things we talked about in this episode. Thanks so much.
This has been a production of the GWW Radio Network. Please don't forget to subscribe, rate, and review us on iTunes, Stitcher, and SoundCloud. Also, check out Geeks Worldwide at thegww.com for all the latest news, reviews, and opinions on video games, comics, movies, TV, cosplay, and more. Geeks, assemble!